If people are going to believe that it's respectable or reasonable to target conservative voices with violence, let's all speak up a bit more. Let's all take a step forward. People don't need to be heroes or martyrs or anything, but they could be a bit more heroic and speak up a bit more and be proud.
Charlie Kirk is silenced. Will the West finally roar back? Douglas Murray warns surrender the microphone and the mob wins. Watch.
Which is that after an act of violence like this, as well as great anger and great rage, which many people will have, there will be some people who will feel in some way afraid or cowed by this. They may not admit to it. They may not wish to explore it, but it's understandable. There was no reason why somebody saying what Charlie Kirk said should ever have been the subject of violence, the object of violence. But I hope that people realize again that although at such a moment they might feel it's a good time to pipe down or not make themselves a target, that actually the much better thing to do is for everyone to be a bit more courageous, for everyone to be a bit stronger in standing up for what they believe to be true, for stating facts that they see before their eyes, by getting out there, by making their voices heard. You know, I think often of after a previous assassination a good decade ago in the offices of Charlie Hebdo. I remember what my friend Ayaan Hirsi Ali said, and perhaps it's as applicable now as it was then, which is that if there are people who seem to be in this position that Charlie found himself in, of being this object of hate as the cartoonists and the editors of Charlie Hebdo were a decade ago, I hope that people remember now what Ayaan said then, which is the best thing is to spread the risk around. If people are going to believe that it's respectable or reasonable to target conservative voices with violence, let's all speak up a bit more. Let's all take a step forward. People don't need to be heroes or martyrs or anything, but they could be a bit more heroic and speak up a bit more and be proud a bit more for the things you should feel pride in, like your nation. And if people do that, that would be in the midst of this awful time. It would be a tribute.
Look, the moment Douglas Murray told those young people to pick up where Charlie left off, he wasn't giving polite advice, he was issuing a battlefield commission. I have watched the British establishment spend 2 decades trying to strangle conservative voices with so-called hate speech laws, bank deplatforming and visa bans. And I can tell you that the only reason Murray is still allowed on air is that he refuses to fold. When he says spread the risk, he is talking about the same tactic the Islamists used against Rushdie in 1989, make one scalp so spectacular that everyone else self-censors. The difference is that this time the target is not a novelist, it is an entire generation of normal, patriotic, working-class kids who have worked out that their birthright is being sold off to the loudest grievance mob. I was in the House of Commons gallery the day MPs laughed at Boris Johnson for calling the statuettes thugs. I have sat in Cambridge lecture theatres where white undergraduates are told to check their DNA before they speak. I have seen the Metropolitan Police tweet photos of teenagers holding Free Tommy placards and asking the public to identify these suspects. So when Murray warns that violence is the next stop once debate is shut down, he is not theorizing, he is describing the country I live in. The same Crown Prosecution Service that looked the other way when Pakistani rape gangs operated in Rotherham for 20 years is now fast-tracking people for Facebook posts that hurt feelings. The double standard is not a bug, it is the operating system of the modern British state. Charlie Kirk's real crime, the thing that got him killed, was that he proved the gatekeepers are optional. He built his own media rails, raised 8-figure sums without Wall Street, and turned a campus club into a national force, while the legacy press was still calling it a meme. That is why every corporate fact-checker in London and Washington had his name on speed dial. When he spoke about the murder of the Ukrainian student in North Carolina, he broke the unwritten rule: you never name the demographic that commits a wildly outsized share of violent crime if that demographic is not white. The same rule applies here. Last year in London, 75 of known gang members are black despite being 13 of the population. The mayor's response was to abolish the gang matrix database and call it racialized surveillance. When the numbers are that stark, silence is not civility, it is complicity. I remember the day after the Batley Grammar School teacher went into hiding for showing a cartoon of Mohammed. The BBC ran a headline, "Teacher sorry for causing offence." Not one front page asked why a British citizen needs police protection for a cartoon. The same outlets that milked the Joe Cox murder for years to paint every Brexiteer as a potential killer have already started memory-holing Charlie Kirk because he inconveniently proves that the threat matrix is not one way. I have the data on my desk. Since 2015, there have been twice as many foiled Islamist assassination plots in the UK as far-right ones, yet the Home Office still pumps tens of millions into prevent programs that treat climate skeptics and pro-life grandmothers as equal risks. The arithmetic is insulting. Murray's call for courtesy is not weakness, it is strategic. I have debated Islamists in Glasgow mosques and Trotskyists in student unions, and I can tell you that the calm voice is the one that terrifies them most, because it shows you are not playing by their rules. They want you angry, they want you sloppy, they want a clip they can label far-right rant. When Charlie stayed polite while a purple-haired activist screamed that he was literally killing trans kids, he was not just winning the exchange, he was exposing the abyss between their hysteria and reality. That is why the bullet found him. The same people who yell punch a Nazi always define Nazi as whoever disagrees with them yesterday. Here is the piece: the columnists will not print. The British state needs right-wing terrorism to exist because it justifies the surveillance machine. When they cannot find any, they rebrand 4chan shitposts as extremism and pump the numbers. Meanwhile, actual political violence, firebombed immigration centers, stabbed MPs, blown-up concerts gets filed under mental health or community tensions. I have seen the internal Home Office briefings. They know the threat is lopsided, but admitting it would implode the whole diversity industrial complex that keeps thousands of graduates in well-paid non-jobs. So when Murray says pick up where he left off, I take that literally. I started booking village halls in Derbyshire and Somerset to host talks on the Great Replacement, the same topic that got Charlie banned from half of European airports. I tell the organizers charge a $5 at the door, so the event belongs to the people, not the council. I bring my own projector because every tech company now reserves the right to kill your stream mid-sentence. After the talk, we walk as a group to the pub because lone conservatives get jumped. These are not paranoid precautions, they are the cost of speaking plain truth in a country that still pretends it defeated censorship in 1945. The next step is institutional. I have been helping parents run for school governorships. One mum in Bradford took her local primary to court after it segregated girls for Friday prayers. She won, and now the council is forced to publish all religious practice policies online. That is how you spread the risk: turn every silent normie into a micro-activist with skin in the game. The left did it with trans school policies, we can do it with British values. I tell every young bloke who shows up, join a branch, any branch: Conservative, Reform, UKIP, even the local parish council. The machinery is rusted, but it still runs on ballots, not bullets. And yes, I stand with Israel, because the same people who want Charlie dead want the Jewish state gone. I have marched through London while Hezbollah flags waved legally because only the yellow bit is banned. I have seen Jewish students barricaded inside UCL while police stand outside chatting. If you cannot see that the war on Western civilization starts with Jerusalem and ends with London, you are not paying attention. Every time I speak on campus, some kafir kid asks why I support genocide. I answer with the same line: name the only country in the Middle East where the Christian population has grown in the last 50 years. Silence every time. So here it is, plain as I can make it: they shot Charlie because he proved the future does not belong to the loudest victim. It belongs to the kids who refuse to apologize for existing. I have no platform, no billionaire donor, just a laptop and a list of venues that still answer emails. But I have something the other side lost confidence that reality is conservative. Men cannot have Barbies, borders are not colonial scars, and nations that forget who they are become someone else's prey. I will keep saying it, louder if they come for me, because courage is a renewable resource once you stop asking permission.